Disclaimer: this session is for training and educational purposes only. It is intended solely for Levi Rogers Group members. This content is not intended to violate any policies or guidelines.
What's that? How's everybody doing? Oh shit. Speaker, AirPod. Somebody do a sound check with me?
We got you, Levi.
All right, awesome. Do you got my Luther Vandross deep voice microphone? Is that
It
working
must not
too?
be, we got it, but I don't think it's on.
Oh, how about this? I got all right, hold on. Let me double check the microphone thing here. All right, it says it's on. I mean, no. I'm in the freaking zone today, man. I was in traffic. I was like literally driving over curbs, going a speed that I shouldn't go, just jamming the '90s gangster rap, and like it's been a wild morning today, and I lost my phone. There's my phone. All right, so hey, we'll get started here in a couple minutes. Just let everybody log on. So I'm on a little bit early. So thank you guys for getting on, and go from there. Hopefully, Charles was out last week. I think he's gonna be back this week, right? Though, because hopefully he's got his jokes ready. Let's see here. All right. Good stuff. It's 10 o'clock. All right. Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Hope this finds you well. And I'm going to go ahead and put a post in the Jason, if you could just help me out here. Can you put a post in buyer ops and list ops so like, hey, we're live? That would be great. Thanks. And I appreciate it. And the mentors, if you can go ahead and drop in your channels, hey, we're live. That would be great as well. Want to get as many people on this as possible today, so we can rock and rolling. Charles, you with us today?
Hey, good morning, boss. Good morning, team.
Good morning. All right. Well, good stuff, man. All right. So you got a joke? You want to kick us off?
Sure. I'll kick us off.
All
So,
right.
what's the best way to watch a fishing tournament?
The best way to watch a fishing tournament? I have no idea.
Live stream.
Huh? I don't get it.
Live stream.
Live stream? Oh, live stream. So you're in the stream? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I guess. All right. Okay. Um, Zeke, you got some help for
Jason's left.
Charles?
I got a backup though. I got a backup.
You got backup? Let's go. Let's run it. Run it.
No. You failed, man. You lost your seat
No,
last
no,
week.
no, no, no. Hold on. Let him
I
get his
got a
backup.
backup. What
You're next. What's up?
what kind of key has two legs but can't open a lock?
What kind of key has two legs that can't open a lock? I have no idea.
A turkey.
Tur God damn, dude. All right. The turkey?
Turkey.
Oh, turkey. Oh, okay. All right. I get it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Zeke. All right, Zeke, you're up, man. All right. All right. What do we got? The turkey. All right. Okay. All right.
Well, that joke was a jive turkey, like my dad used to say. Hey, listen, what kind of doctor brings his patients get well cards?
What kind of doctor brings his patients get well cards?
A cardiologist.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Hey guys, we are looking for some new jokesters on the team. I mean, Charles and Zeke, they've had a really great run. And I think they're gonna come back next week and bring them like I never did before. So and bring some I don't know, man. What is it? Man, I think last week there was just one that had me rolling, but I don't know. And maybe it's just me. If three jokes hit, I don't know. And maybe it's just me. But oh well. All right, cool. But I do appreciate you guys coming with the jokes always. And guys, if you haven't seen my post, I posted in the Buyer Ops yesterday. Please take the time to take a look at it. One of our team members, our very first team member, Michelle Gamble, lost her husband this weekend. Michelle not only is a loyal member of this organization since the beginning, the very beginning, but she's become a very dear friend of mine and many of us in this organization. I've celebrated many things with her and her family, and I just from the bottom of my heart, couldn't find of any other way to kick off this deep dive without just showing a little love for Michelle and everything her and her family are going through right now with the loss of their beloved Bobby. They were married almost 34 years, and just wonderful friend of the company and mine. And so if you haven't had the time to or saw the post, please take the time to post some words of condolences in there for Michelle and her family. And then also, as soon as we have information on arrangements from Michelle, I will rapidly put that out. I want our company to show up and support her. And so if you've ever met Bobby, I would encourage you to go and be there for Michelle. If you haven't, you're totally welcome as well. But we'll get those details out as soon as we get them. So thank you guys for your time on that. I will go ahead and share screen now. You guys, can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So, hey, today we're going to talk about 5 steps to winning the sale every time. Right now, you guys, I've really got this weird ability to feel the market. And, I sit here in the office all day, every day. I'm researching, I'm talking with people, I'm in the coaching groups, the right rooms, and I just feel something different right now. I feel it coming, and this isn't the normal like March feeling right now. It's different. It feels way different than the last 2 years. And so, what does that mean to you? That means like it's time, right? We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know how what do you call it? We don't know how long it's going to be good, right? But it's trending very well right now. So if you're getting face to face with people, one of the things you're probably wondering is, hey, well, what can I do to not let this opportunity become somebody else's opportunity? And so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to share with you guys 5 things that I would do every time, all the time, that always worked. I didn't win most of the deals, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to share you the recipe that I used in 2012 to knock out a little over 120 closings that I did in 1 year. And I'm going to share with you guys how I did that and what I said to do that, both on the buy side and the list side, and we'll have a conversation about it. Also, we've got an exciting new partnership to talk about, and this isn't the one that I posted on Facebook about, by the way. This is another one. But with the Choza home warranty, we have Kelly on from Choza to talk about their product and services and how our relationship between our 2 companies can help benefit our shared customers, both on the buy side and the sell side. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Before we get going, I'd like to kick it off with the pledge. Zeke, you got us. You're on my screen right now. You got us? All right. Thanks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Zeke, and thank you all for participating in that. This is, man, I mean, wonderful country that we live in. And so, it's just a great thing that we do here at LRG. Our core values: we act with integrity always. We operate with excellence. That's what today's going to be about, guys, is how do we get face to face and operate with excellence? What we say matters, what we don't say matters, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about it. I'm also going to open up the mic to get your guys' input on this as well. We're going to talk about that first meeting. We're going to talk about how we operate with excellence, not only to secure the second meeting, but to ensure that when it comes time to ask for the offer, that we've set the conditions to where the logical next step is presenting the offer, and it shouldn't be a struggle by the time that time comes. It should just naturally flow. We're going to talk about how we set the conditions for that. We are better together. That is something that as this team has grown and continue to grow and will continue to grow, something will never compromise. Power of teamwork is a beautiful, beautiful thing. We look in the mirror before looking through the glass, guys. As we're going through some of these examples of how to win the appointment every time and how to win the sale every time, I'm going to ask you to look in the mirror, because that's where most solutions usually lie in this game. Whether we want to hear it or don't hear it, we got to look in the mirror before looking through the glass. Control the controllables type perspective there. Representation is never compromised. I was on a phone call last night. This came up probably about 4 or 5 times while I was in traffic, and it was something that brings joy to my heart every time I hear one of our agents or mentors or somebody outside of our organization talk about that, because here representation is never compromised, and LRG is a team sport. Those are our core values. Live them, learn them. If you don't know them, screenshot them. These are very, very important to our organization's history and our future. ALM, as a reminder, appointment, location, motivation. Our onboarding class is sitting in today. You guys are on the second day of onboarding. I don't know if you've learned about this yet, but if you haven't, you will. Whether you are having a phone call or whether you're having a text conversation or whether you're face-to-face, appointment, location, motivation is a great framework to help keep you in line as to exactly what you need to say or exactly what you need to do. And while you're on these phone calls, definitely pay attention to that, because sometimes we say too much and sometimes we don't say enough. Our whole goal on every phone conversation is to get face-to-face. The power of being face-to-face is something that is unparalleled, and every conversation that we're having, we need to make sure that we are following along with this framework and doing what we need to do to get that appointment and get face-to-face. Oops, whoa, I went too fast there. Coming up, so we have some dates, all right? So this will go out in your calendar. Jason's schedule is really, really tight. Jason is probably one of the best video and social media people in the real estate space that exists. Jason has helped build many, many video rock stars that exist in the place. I am bringing him into the organization for a 3-week session. Right now, because things are subject to change. But right now, as it stands, it's April 14th, April 21st, and 28th. These are Mondays at 1 p.m. Okay, these will be 3 sessions that we do. They'll be an hour apiece, where Jason's going to help lay out what you need to do, what you should do, what you can do to just increase your video game and your online video presence. It's so, so important. If you think for 1 second that the people and families that you meet through a Zillow connection or through a connection here delivered by the company or whatever aren't researching you, you're full of it. They're absolutely looking you up on social. They're absolutely looking you up on anything that they could look you up on. So the more that you can do to increase your presence out there and deliver valuable content, the better. Some people do it with video. Some people don't. That's okay. But we're going to go deep about video with Jason. All of you fall into a category of celebrating moms, right? So either you have a mom or you are a mom. In some capacity, a mom has been a part of your life for everybody. I want to put together a pretty badass video celebrating motherhood. And we got many mothers in our organization. We have many people in our organization that have a mother. So if you have a picture that you'd like to share, please get that over to Yael. I think that's the process there. I don't know. Yael, is that yep, it says kindly submit your photos to Yael on Slack by April 15th. So please get those over to Yael. We want to go ahead and get that video made. We're good. Okay. Coffees with Coach Emily. Those are the first and third Thursday every month. So there's a great tool right there to hear an outside voice from the organization to talk about the one thing that we all want the same of is to get face to face with as many people as possible and end up at the closing table. That's what we all want. And Coach Emily brings a great voice to help us get there. LRG Buys America. It's coming up on Friday, March 28th, which is this Friday. So in 3 days. If you haven't attended one of those, please do. If you have, come back. You know, whether you are looking to buy a home for yourself as an investment property, or whether you just want to better serve investors that you're working with, please go ahead and attend these. It's a great mastermind discussion. I had a meeting with a family last night, one of our agents and her husband, to talk about their journey to buy more America. They're on a great start. And if any of you in the organization would benefit from a confidential meeting together, I'm happy to give that as well. So just hit up Yael. She'll get you on my calendar. We'll set something up to do that. And I believe in this this beautiful thing called real estate and how it can really impact families. It changed my life, and if I can help any of you change yours with real estate, I happily will do it. So that's what that's all about. Next slide. All right. So I want to ask all of you right now. All right. We only have 4 people on our blood drive signed up for the quarterly blood drive. And we need to change that. So on the 17th of April, we are having a blood drive at the office. And so if you are committed to doing this blood drive and doing this with the team, I want you to write yes in the chat there. No judgment if you're not. Okay. But I would like Yael, if you can go ahead and drop the link into the chat, that would be great. We gave a couple examples, not only with my life, those of you that have heard my story, you know, I had 22 units of blood pumped into me when I got blown up. Donating blood's a big part of something that we can do to give back as an organization to our community. And then just right after the last blood drive, Jason Zakel, can you share your story real quick that you have about how it just, you were emphasizing, or how do you say, it was just the point of giving blood was re-emphasized in your life shortly after we had our last blood drive. Can you share with everybody what happened, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no. So shortly after our blood drive, my son was in a situation where he went through a window and he severed his brachial artery. Short story, it looked like a crime scene. And the only reason that he survived was, one, mom understood the importance of placing a tourniquet at the right place. Two, youth was on his side as an athlete, football player, and MMA player, so he had reserve. But three, when he went to the immediate local hospital, and then they had enough blood on hand to get him something while he was in flight to the level 1 trauma center there in Chicago proper. And that was the only thing that saved my son's life, was enough blood at that moment to hold him in that community hospital in the suburb of Chicago until he got into the city proper where they had adequate stores. So, and it was what, Levi, probably like less than 3 weeks after we had did donating here, and I was making a joke about giving blood in a weird sense, but please give blood. It saves lives more than you may understand. And as a former ICU ER nurse who had to call blood bank often for blood, please understand the impact of that, because somebody's life will be prolonged because you gave a little bit of time to give a precious resource.
Yeah, no, yeah. Thank you, Zake, for sharing your story about that. And thank you, team, for supporting this. And let's fill the house. We're doing it on a quarterly basis. And I mean, I really like the impact that we're having with that. And so next slide here. All right. So right now, here's the status of our listing contest. As many of you have seen it in Slack. If you haven't seen it in Slack, we've got this listing contest going on signed listing agreements. And from March 1st to March 31st, listings are the aggregate of a lot for our ecosystem, whether it creates a lead that turns into a buyer appointment, whether it helps a buyer, a seller becomes a buyer, or whether somebody just wants to sell and move and you get a referral out of it. Listings are a great tool to help scale businesses and help people win and make a lot of damn money in real estate, right? Right now, a lot of people will not get to the buy side without getting through the challenges on the list side. And so if you haven't heard about this, please take a look at it. What do you call it? Selena, I don't know if you could put the workflow in the Zoom chat there. If you have a listing that you've signed an agreement on, please go ahead and the only way that these are being counted is if you fill out the workflow that's in Slack. Selena dropped a link there. Of course, Myra and Brandy and Kim will verify, validate, so nobody's not just saying that they won and blah, blah, blah. So there's a process for that. I have no idea what that is, but go out there, get face to face with people, get listing agreements signed, get signs in the yard, get a whole bunch of phone calls, make a whole bunch of money, and help people buy those homes and go there. And so I'm going to take the winner and their +1, Myra and I, to Vegas for a weekend. We'll have a great time. Currently, Jackie's in the lead. Delaney's close behind in second, and Aaron's close behind her. So let's see what happens. And I appreciate your guys' support on that. Next. All right. So if you think back to when those of you that have been in the organization a little bit, you remember when we started Slack. Slack was basically not this brilliant idea that I had. It was just me copying Zillow, and it's worked out pretty well for us as an organization, just along the years. It's turned out to be this amazing tool that we use. Before Slack, we had just a Facebook group that we had for the team. And I know, Jason, you remember that when we had that little Facebook page, and that's how we communicated with everybody. And so as we grow, things evolve. And what I want to do is announce something that will go live this week. It's called the LRG Marketplace, and it'll be a Slack channel. And what it's for is basically not to clog up buyer and listing ops with stuff, right? So I'm sure the definition of this channel will change over time. It's new to us, but an example of what I don't want in buyer ops or listing ops is like a 65 paragraph listing advertisement, or my Uncle Larry's selling his washer and dryer, or that type of stuff, right? The operations channels are, quite frankly, for me, the leadership team, to communicate operational stuff to our agents. Okay. That may come in a way of a poll that I do or what have you. But I just don't want important messages getting buried in the channels with stuff. Because if 300 people post 300 washer and dryer ads or what have you, then it just buries everything. And so that's going to go live this week. Everybody will be invited to it. We'll give probably a week or so of leniency, but then what you'll see is moderator, i.e. Myra, will just start deleting posts as you post them in there and shoot you a message. And so let's keep buyer and listing ops clean so that myself, Jason, Selena, the mentors, Myra, can post relevant operational stuff. I still want you to post your wins in these operational channels. I believe that's, operational as well. So that's that. So we'll get to the next one and we'll go from there. All right. Coming soon. This will be next week. So your mentors moving forward, a workflow will be created in Slack for each mentorship group. That will be, if you're in G5 or G4, G3, G2, it'll be hash, whatever that thing is called here, /G5 or G3 or whatever. And it'll pop up the mentor help request. Okay, this is going to be done in a manner just to keep everything organized. It's worked really well for me testing it in G5. We'll roll it out for listings as well. I think it's important for my commitment to all of you and for the leadership's commitment to all of you is that we can track and measure all of the help requests that exist in the organization. Also, our mentors, they may need a break someday or whatever. If they go on vacation, I want to have a system to where we can still process any questions that may exist. If Charles is on a cruise, cruise, and he's out there enjoying a week of his life on vacation. One, I don't want to blow Charles up with a whole bunch of texts he's not going to get from agents, and I want to have a process to where we can handle that gap while Charles is out there on a cruise. And so this is something that will rapidly evolve. I think after we get the organizational adoption of this, what you'll see is one centralized location to where all agents can come and ask any question, whether it's, hey, where's the toilet paper at the office question, or how do I get my lockbox question, or what have you. And then the system intelligently distributes it out to the right person. And so that's where we're going with this. But we're going to start just kind of at a basic level here first with any questions that you have as it pertains to listing or buyers. It'll go to the mentor of the group that you're in, and we'll go from there. So that will go live probably Monday of next week. I need to talk with Myra and Jason about the implementation of that. So just stay tuned for some more info on that in the coming days. And with that, we are going to go ahead and turn the mic over to Kellyanne from Achosa Home Warranty. I spent a lot of time out there representing buyers when I was a buyer agent, and having a home warranty was always part of it. And all these home warranty companies all have good, bad, and ugly about all of them. The differentiator is the partnership with the organization or the real estate professional has in that with that home warranty. And so one of the reasons why I decided to create a partnership with Achosa is I felt that out of all the players in the warranty space, this is the one to where I can go out there and help deconflict any problems that may arise post-transaction. And I'm not encouraging you if you don't think this isn't like a sales thing to where if you feel that the deal doesn't deserve a home warranty, that's totally okay. But if the deal does deserve a home warranty, I'm asking you to use our partners here at Achosa, and Kellyanne's going to talk to you a little bit about their value propositions, how they do what they do, and how they support our shared customers with that. And with that, Kellyanne, go ahead, and the mic's yours. You can share screen, and then after Kellyanne's done, I'll go ahead and give you guys the juice that I used in 2012 to go sell a little over 120 houses by myself. So Kellyanne, the mic's yours.
Okay, great. Let me see where I can find the screen. Okay, hopefully I can do this. Okay, I am going to share a screen, but I have to find my screen. There it is. Can y'all see this? Everybody see that? Okay, great. Okay, so thank you again, Levi, for introducing me. I want to tell you guys it is a true honor and privilege to be working with the Levi Rogers Group. I've known Levi for a couple of years. I've also been following Levi like a creeper for more than that. So he's been a true leader in this industry. We are a very different kind of warranty, and I'm truly excited to talk to you guys about how we're different. I know a lot of you have stopped using warranties altogether. I hear it all the time. And you've had a lot of bad experiences with warranties. So I'm excited to show you how we're different. I'm going to start off by just, for some of you who are brand new to warranties, what is a warranty to begin with? So a home warranty is a contract that provides coverage for mechanical failures due to normal wear and tear on the major mechanical systems. I always say, use the acronym PREACH. Plumbing, roof leaks, electrical, appliances, cooling, and heating. That is what we take care of. So we have you covered there, and that's really important to new homeowners. How do we differ from home insurance? This is probably one of the number one questions I get from new homeowners when they call me. In fact, a lot of them call me thinking I am home insurance. So how are we different? That home warranty that covers repairs or replacements of home systems and appliances is due to that normal wear and tear. Home insurance policies protect your home and belongings from risk like fire, theft, natural disasters. Also, home insurance is going to be required by your lenders. We are not required by lenders, okay? This is an optional thing for the homeowner. So why should I recommend Achosa? A lot of people don't know this, but new homeowners spend between 1 to 4% of their home value in repairs the first year in their home. And when you're thinking about right now, the price they're putting in to get in that new home, and then to tack on 1 to 4% for repairs, a home warranty can take off a ton of burden for them. They really don't want that. And most of those repairs actually happen in the first 6 months. So a home inspection definitely does not catch everything. In fact, yesterday I had one where they couldn't do the differential on the HVAC because when they did the inspection, it was freezing cold. So they had just closed and then the HVAC wasn't working. They couldn't catch it because they really couldn't do a true inspection on the HVAC. And then they had to do literally a replacement on the HVAC. So big deal when you just buy your house and a couple weeks later you find out doesn't work. So protecting your homeowners from the burden of that first year is really a great way to demonstrate your fiduciary to your client and protect your brand. Because if that homeowner is calling you a week later after closing on their home, the inspector didn't catch it, and they say, I have to replace my HVAC, and you never told them about a home warranty and explained the benefits, that doesn't look good on you guys. So you want to make sure that you have at least explained the option of a home warranty. If for whatever crazy reason they decline it, when the sellers are actually paying for it nowadays, they're all paying for it. It's pretty much a bounce to buyer's market right now. Then that's really on the buyer, but I haven't had really any case where the sellers aren't paying for it. So how are we different from traditional home warranties? This is why Levi likes us. This is why Levi chose us. Contractor selection. We are going to let you choose your contractor every single time. Let me say that again. Every single time you get to choose your contractor, not from our list, anybody. If you want to call John Wayne to fix your HVAC, go for it. If you want to call mom and pop, their uncle who is an HVAC person, go for it. We do not need to pre-approve that contractor. It's not like where we're going to say, yes, you can choose, but it's really just you pick someone and then we'll see if we pre-approve them to our list. That's a loophole. We don't have that loophole. This is big for you guys. And when you think about, this is a little selfish maybe, but we're in the business of referrals. If you have an HVAC person you are referring, and then they're going to homes on the market that are out there fixing HVACs to get them ready to sell, who are they going to call when they're ready to list and say, hey, they're looking for a realtor? You want to keep those relationships going, and creating those relationships with contractors in the area is a way for you to get listings. So keep that in mind too. That's another reason I really like our warranty. We are going to pay the contractor their retail rate. We do not negotiate them down. That's another big differentiator. All the other traditional warranty companies that have these contracts with the contractor have negotiated their price down. So when HVACs all go out on Labor Day weekend and they're calling the home warranty companies, let's say for traditional, and they say, I need the HVAC person out here now, they are the last person on their list because they are negotiated the price down. When you call with a CHOSA, they don't even need to tell them they have a home warranty because we're going to pay them retail rate. There's no reason for them to be last on the list. That's huge. Most of our claims are called, filed, and paid within 3 days. Done. Really just depends on how fast the contractor gets the parts to fix it. That's it. So when
Kellyanne, can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
And sorry to interrupt there, but
That's okay.
like what if the agents like sometimes I could see a scenario to where maybe the agent doesn't have a preferred contractor in an area. Do you guys have
Yes.
a list per se of people that are familiar with the CHOSA process and comfortable with it? Because
yes,
like my guy Bob that does HVAC on the side, he you know what I mean? He may not be comfortable with it, but like, so you guys do have somebody that,
Yes.
yep, okay.
Yes, and by the way, almost every person who we've turned over so many people already. Again, they don't have to tell them they have a home warranty when they call their contractor, because we literally just pay them over the phone our share of it. There's really no red tape to go through with us. But I had an HVAC person call me yesterday. They had a question because this was the same situation I was talking about when the person just closed. They had an inspection report. The thing with, but they were worried about. But the HVAC guy told me, he said, "I want to tell you, of all the home warranty companies, you're the only one I want to work with." He said, "I've already done a few deals with y'all. I couldn't even believe it. You guys paid me exactly what. There was no Band-Aid. I just told them what was wrong, and they did it." I was like, I love hearing that. I absolutely, I said, put it in paper and send it to me so I can actually put that on Facebook. I want to hear more. We're different, but if they have people they want to call, they can call them. If they want to go through Google. If they absolutely are like, I don't even want to use Google, tell me. We do have a list we can give them of people we've used in the past. They're not contractors of ours, but we've used them in the past, and we can give them that. So we have all different ways. Some realtors prefer to give them a list because they like it to do it that way. Some like to just call whoever, and sometimes we can give them a list too. And by the way, all our claims reps are bilingual, every single one of them. Another great thing. That's huge. So this is going to really help you with slow response times, because that's the number one complaint people have with home warranties is slow response times. That's not a problem. Also, when you get that call from the traditional home warranty companies from your client that says, "You recommended this home warranty company, but they said they're going to take 2 weeks to come out," or "I don't like the work they did, this contractor," you're not going to have that problem with us because they chose the contractor. Big difference. It really is us just being their credit card. And we're going to pay that contractor. We really love local at the time of service over the phone. We do not reimburse the buyer later. This is paying them at the time. Our portion is taken care of immediately. In the case that the buyer already did pay, like it was like middle of the night thing, they paid for it, however, they forgot the rules of how the order goes, we can pay the buyer later if that does happen. So I would say, think of us like your repair credit card. We also use for our rating something called the Net Promoter Score. So as soon as we finish with our service, we ask the clients, "How do you rate us?" And this is what Apple uses, Starbucks uses, all of them. And we are averaging a CHOSA over financial services, retail, healthcare. We were at a 9.3 out of 10 an average score. So that is huge for a CHOSA. So we have a much higher customer satisfaction rating than any other home warranty company. So what do we cover? This is another thing you're going to love about us. We're very easy. It's not like picking and choosing. We're going to cover, of course, all residential homes, all plans. You're going to love this. All plans cover non-owner occupied, all of them. So if they're rentals, Airbnbs, covered. We have multi-year plans. We have new construction plans for 36 months. They start at $745 for 36 months. We cover townhomes, condos, duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. And all of our plans cover septic, water softeners, well water pumps, and jacuzzi tubs. So if you're out in hill country, you're out in the country, wherever it is, we gotcha. And that's really big for Texas, and because we have a lot of rural, and a lot of the problems with home warranty is the rural customers. So we serve all of Texas, every single inch. I don't care where you are at Levi Rogers Group, we've got you. So please don't ever say, "Do you cover this area?" Yes, the answer is yes, every single time. So let's look at our plan, just kind of in a nutshell real quick. Super simple. As I said, all our plans cover everything. Everything right there. We're going to cover the HVAC on every plan, hence the central heating, electrical, plumbing, water heater, major appliances, attic and exhaust, code violations, garage door, garbage disposal, jetted bathtub, microwave, sump pump, roof leak, septic system, water softener, I forgot to tell you that, water softeners on every plan, and the well water pump. The only difference is the caps. But we start as low as $500. $500, y'all. I have a lot of realtors who have even gifted it as a closing gift, but even if the seller doesn't pay, which is really rare, sometimes the buyers will just purchase it because it's so low. The only add-on you should have to think about in Texas is probably the pool. And the pool is a $200 add-on if they have like the connected spa and pool, which is the most common. That's really the only add-on you should ever have to think on. So 500's our lowest core, 675 is prime, that's our most popular. So we're also very agent and title friendly. Like I said, it's very simple. All of our plans, you don't have to think about those add-ons or mixed and matched plans. Just think about what can they afford? What's the seller going to do? What do they need? Is the home older or newer? If it's newer, you could probably go with core and be absolutely fine. If it's like a pretty brand new house, like 2020.
Hey, Kellyanne, I got a couple questions here. Deanna is asking about the manufactured houses covered.
Yes. Yes.
They are. Okay. Wow. I wouldn't cover. If I had an insurance company, I wouldn't cover them.
We do. We actually do cover them. Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. And then I see, thank you for that. And then Josh, you got your hand up. What you got?
Yes, sir. Kelly, my question for you guys, and I don't know if you addressed this or not, but let's just say that the contractor is doing the work. They got paid from you guys here already. In the middle of their work here, they're noticing a different issue from the same that was, that caused from the same one, and now they need additional compensation to fix that other issue that they found.
That would
because
be
of
the
it.
same claim,
Okay. Okay,
probably.
perfect.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it's just like, oh, okay, that's it. They just get paid that first
Yeah.
time, and then if
Yeah.
there's more issues, or no, sorry. Okay,
No,
cool.
that's okay. That's okay. And we can go through some more questions at the end too. I can kind of go through these.
Oh.
These might be covered if you want. Do you have anything right now, Levi?
No, let's do that. I'll go ahead and respect that. You finish your presentation. We'll aggregate all the questions and go from there.
Okay,
My apologies.
No, it's okay. No, it's perfect. So the warranty is really agent and title friendly. That's one thing I like. In fact, when we did those add-ons this year, the septic, the well pump, the water softener, jetted tub, and non-owner occupied, that was really based on our Texas market. Our Texas market is humongous, DFW being the biggest. We just do a ton of business in Texas. So we really want to make this as agent friendly and as client friendly as possible for Texas. Like I said, pool's really all you got to think about. Maybe if you still have extra money, maybe the extra fridge, standalone freezer, standalone ice maker. We also have something called Conserve Plus, which this will add a replacement value, not repair value, to your appliances and HVAC for energy efficient appliances and equipment that Conserve and Conserve Plus. And then we have an Appliance Plus upgrade for $75, which adds $500 in replacement value to your major appliances, not your HVAC. So you can add that as well if you needed to add a little more extra money, like you've got more money than we have plans available. So I also have this really cool cheat sheet. I want to make it as easy as possible, guys. If you want this cheat sheet, you need to email me for the cheat sheet. I'm going to have my email at the end, and you can keep this with you as well. In your packet, and I do have a packet available that is very client facing, that's going to even have a letter in the beginning explaining our plans, introducing as if like you're sending it to them. I have this with it. So this will be included with your packet. So what is the process to protect my client? First of all, if you're a new agent and you haven't been doing warranties, a lot of people, when I first started in real estate, I didn't know where this was, to be honest with you. It is in your 1 to 4 on page 5 on 7H. Oops, how did I do that? Okay, it says residential service contract. It's this little blank here. The seller's going to pay for it. I'm going to tell you right now, the seller's going to pay for it. If you put this in there. This means the seller is going to pay this portion. This is outside of the regular concessions, okay? I would put my suggestion for an amount is probably the 675 for the prime package. That's kind of the San Antonio amount, I say. San Antonio kind of has this friendly amount that most sellers don't blink at. 675 is usually that amount. Now, if you get an investor that you're buying from, you know, a flipper, I might go a little lower. I might go 600. They tend to be a little more frugal and a little more like blinky. Then 600 might be, maybe even the core plan at 500, because I do notice that they are the ones who are like, what, every little dime. So maybe 500 to 600. If you have extra concessions, like say you put a ton of concessions on there in the concessions list, and the blender said, oh, you got more concessions than you needed, or that we can actually do, you went over that percent. Don't just let them go away, guys. We can take those concessions and turn them into a warranty, even a multi-year warranty. So if you get that call from your lender that said, hey, you asked for like 15,000 in concessions, we got it, but that's way more than we can do legally. Call me and we'll see how much we can turn into a warranty so they don't just lose all that money.
You know, guys, like that's actually a really good tip. Like one of the worst things you could do in buyer representation is leave money on the table. It happens. It's hit my desk, I think 2 to 3 times in the first quarter. So it does happen out there. And so, but having ways out of it to use that money, because you don't want to leave the money on the table. And if you don't know what Kellyanne or myself are talking about, that get with your mentor right after this, because it's so important. But basically, if you negotiate dollars in 12A1C of the contract, and you negotiated more than what's allocated by the loan, or none of it's all is being able to use, and you've already done rate buy downs, and it's just no way to use the money. I mean, yeah, using it to buy a multi-year contract for a home warranty may be better than just leaving the money on the table, because to break even by getting in a sales price reduction, like they're going to sell the house before it breaks even, and so Kellyanne, that's a great tip. I've never heard of anybody doing that for a multi-year warranty. Really solid tip there. Write that one down, team.
Also, I get the question, what if the seller won't pay for a warranty? Again, there's very few cases they're going to do that in this market. If the market gets hot, you're probably going to see that more, right? If anybody who was in the 2020, 21 market, we saw it a lot. If that happens, the buyer, I still a very good idea for them to pay for it. Get at least a core plan at 500. They might be, scrunching those dimes at that point. It's also a great closing gift. If you're one of those who doesn't like the pressure of the closing gift, like thinking, oh my God, what do I get? I don't want to go to Etsy. I don't want to do all this. A $500 home warranty that's going to save them thousands of dollars is a fantastic and easy closing gift. You can create a gift certificate that says that. I can create you one if you would like. Send me, hey, I'm going to do a gift card for $500, gift certificate for $500. If you want to split the gift of home warranty and do $250, let me know and I'll create $250 towards a home warranty and you can split it. It's going to save you headaches, guys. It's going to save you liability. So it's actually a gift to you as well in the end. But I have a lot of agents who pay for the home warranty, especially on higher priced homes. Where you do get the higher, do the higher gifts. The 500 is a good one. I've even had people do higher ones on like the more luxury homes. So how do I get more info to put in an order? So getting started. First of all, friend me on Facebook. Everyone get out your phone. Find me on Facebook, Kellyanne Dosdale, friend me. And the reason I want you to do this is you can actually Facebook message me orders if you want to. You send me a question, whatever you want to do. Plus, you might see little updates about us, anything. I put it on Facebook. And go to my personal page, not my business. I'm terrible at my business page. Go to my personal page. My number is 214-235-9139. Save it to your phone. I do have a QR code that has everything if you want to go to that. Take a picture, do that thing. You can email me for a packet, and that's the complete packet. I'm going to show you in a second at kellyannd@achosahomewarranty.com. You can send me orders directly to me. You can email. I prefer email. You can text, but I prefer email just because what I like to do is acknowledge I've got it. I like to say, you know how it is, guys. I've received your order. And then I push unread. And then I go back to it to put the order in. So that keeps me organized. That's why I like the emails. If you have to text it in a rush, it's okay. You can do it. You can open a personal portal if that is your jam and you like personal portals, do it. Go to chosahomewarranty.com, go under real estate pros, but please make sure you choose Kelly Ann Dosdale as your sales rep, or I will not see your order when it comes in. So please make sure you choose Kelly Ann Dosdale as your sales rep. So again, placing that order to me directly through email, I'm going to ask you for some things in that. You're not going to remember it right now. I'll email you back and say, this is what I need. I can literally, if you don't know, if you just tell me the amount and the address, I will get you the plan. You don't need to think. You don't need to say, oh, I don't know if they should get this and this and this. I will say, okay, you have 670 or you have 800. Tell me the address. I'll put together the package. Done. I'll look on MLS. I'll look at everything, see what they have. Do they have a pool? Do they not have a pool? How old's the house? What should I add? I'll do it for you. You don't even have to do anything. So I'll give you a second to write this down if you need to. Please Facebook me. It really does help. And you can Facebook message me too. So what if my client has questions? Who do they call? First of all, you're going to find out I am probably going to be the most responsive rep you've ever met in your life. I will answer at 9 p.m. You know, you can text me any time of day. If I am not available, I literally will have it on mute, my phone. I will always do my best to let you know I've received your message and when I will respond. I do not like to ghost people or to let people think I didn't see it. I want you to know I have heard you and when you can expect a response if I'm not available to respond right now. That's really important to me. That's one of my pet peeves as a person. So I want you guys to know I'm there. So if you need the client to talk to me, the best way to do it is to do an email intro. Say, this is the home warranty person. CC your client and let me know the address and if the seller is paying how much. And what I like to do is let them brew on the info first. So I will send them a recommendation of the best plan, more in-depth info on our plans, and offer to set up a time to talk in more depth over the phone. That way I know they've had a chance to look over it, and then we set up a time to talk. And that's my preferred way. If you do it by text, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I do prefer that way. Again, this is also my organized way of saying I got it unread. I'm just kind of weird that way. And so that's really it. I'll take some. Oh my goodness, the chat is lit up.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of questions here. So, guys, just take the next few minutes to ask some questions. I'll help aggregate them here. Kelly on Patricia Moore's asking, is there a deductible and how does that work?
There's a trade call fee. It's $100, which is a trade call fees go between 75 to 125 in the industry. So ours is right in the middle. And it works like a deductible. It's just going to come off what is like what we're going to cover in the end. That's really how it works. So it's pretty simple. And then someone asked, what if my past client hates their warranty? It happens all the time. If they cancel, we waive the 30-day waiting period of somebody who had somebody who already owns a home. There's no waiting period when they purchase the property. First purchase, there's no waiting period after closing. But let's say they own a home already and then they cancel. If they cancel, there's no 30-day waiting period. If they did not have a warranty before and they put a warranty on their existing home, there is a 30-day waiting period.
No, yeah, absolutely. Caps. Are there caps? Patrick Freeman asked if there's caps.
Yes, and it's going to be in your packet and on the cheat sheet. And our caps are very realistic. Let me tell you something about caps too. There are some warranty companies out there who give outrageous caps and they don't follow through with it. and they have caps on individual parts. Let's say the HVAC, they'll say there's a cap on the coil, there's a cap. So we'll say, oh, there's 25,000 on the HVAC. But then there's a cap on the coil, there's a cap on this. So it's really not, that's their loophole. And if they think about it, if you have a $745 home warranty and a $25,000 cap, can they make money? No. So they're going to find a way not to follow through. With ours, our caps are much more realistic. They're going to pay for most of the replacement, but they're realistic because we have to do what the contractor says. We don't work for with the contractor. That's a huge difference. So we take off that burden, and the number one complaint, like I said, that the homeowners have is time. They want it, first of all, to follow through with what we said, and time. So that's what we do. And then someone said, just had a part of my roof fly off my rental property due to high winds. Would that be covered? Not now, because you didn't have us before, but if it had CHOSA, that actually would be an insurance issue, to be real. That probably would be an insurance issue. Let's see here. We will give them a vendor list if they call for whatever the situation is. Yes, we have out of state. We have a lot of states we cover. And let's see here. Trying to be mindful of time here. Is there anything else you guys have?
Yeah, if you guys have questions, I mean, let them know. I mean, we're not afraid of the hard questions either. Like, you know, I used home warranties when I was out there, you know, and in some cases it helped the situation, and in some cases it didn't, you know. But one of the things that helped is when I made a decision when I was out there operating, because I would just, you know, didn't, you know, just whoever they picked type thing. But then I was like, okay, let me create a relationship with the rep that I had at the time. And it just helped me resolve any potential problems, because what we don't want to do is it turn into this heavy weight for us post-transaction. We want to turn it into an opportunity where we save the day. And it gives another opportunity to have a conversation post-transaction with our customer that we've already worked with, and to ask them that wonderful question. You know, hey, if you know anybody, I'd love to be able to help them out too, right? Like, and so it just creates another opportunity at scale. It helps. And so, but the value of this relationship that we have with the CHOSA is, you know, deconfliction of any problems that may arise, also the acceleration of any opportunities that may arise. And so if you have a customer that you're out there that can benefit from the home warranty, please bring it up. Don't hesitate to ask Kelly Ann. You know, just shoot her a text or Facebook DM her or whatever the processes, and ask. Nobody expects everybody to know everything about home warranties. You know, also be careful of the expectations that you set for the client. I think that the best way is to say, hey, here's the parameters of this program. It covers a lot. It doesn't cover everything. But if you have any questions, please talk with Kelly Ann. Some other situations that may come up is that on the listing side, they may use that as a tool to get out of doing repairs and so forth and so on. So just be cognizant about that as well, because every home warranty out there is going to have some little rules and regulations, right? Like, so you got to make sure that and I don't know this right now as it pertains to the CHOSA, but you got to make sure everything's whole prior to getting them to repair. They're not there to make up for your inability to negotiate repairs, right?
Levi, I'm so glad you said that, because I'm very upfront with people. This any warranty company says that you're not going to look at the inspection the first 30 days or whatever, they're liars. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's some kind of fine print that says that. I've had this come up. If it's on the home inspection and it has not had a verification of repair and it just closed recently, they're going to ask for the inspection and they don't show verification. They're not going to do it. So if you have a HVAC that says end of life, okay, or something like that, not working properly on the home inspection, they're probably not going to cover that HVAC. Okay, I'm just telling you up front. And if you have questions about a home inspection and a home warranty, call me. I will tell you and what needs to be done. And this is true of any home warranty. You wouldn't take a crashed car to go get insurance. You don't take crashed appliances to go get a home warranty. Same thing. Another reason, I'll tell you one more time when you would not want our warranty. Well, two. If you have a flipper who bought the home who's gonna rent it. And it's gonna take them like 1 year to put in all those appliances and everything before they even put it on the market. Probably not a good year to get the warranty, maybe the next year. Also, if they're very, very, very elderly and they're gonna have to they don't email, because we're all electronic, not for you. Okay, they're not gonna call, contract, and anything. This isn't for you. Find another warranty company in that situation. So if they're extremely elderly, need a lot of hand holding like that, not the right warranty for you. And I will tell you that. Because I want you all to have a great experience every single time. And even if it means using someone else in that case, that's what you need to do.
All right. Well, Kellyanne, hey, I really appreciate you coming on today. This will be the first of many engagements that you guys have with LRG. And I would love to get some collateral that we could put out in at the office as well. And I have a meeting up with our Austin team on the 9th of April. So I'd love to take some packets of stuff up to all of those agents on our team servicing the Austin and Killeen market as well.
Okay.
So if you guys can get that over to our office beforehand, that would be fabulous. And team, I appreciate your guys' support. Kellyanne, thank you so much.
you.
Absolutely. So guys, what's next here is in 2 minutes to 3 minutes, Zillow Home Loans is going to talk a little bit about some wins and so forth. And then I'm going to get into the juice of the presentation today. We're going to talk about how to win every damn appointment that we go on. So Wes Black from Zillow, if you could jump on, the mic is yours.
Thanks, Levi. Hear me okay?
Yep.
Cool. All right, guys, just wanted to thank you for some time today. I wanted to celebrate some wins, give you a quick market update. I'll just take a couple minutes. Just a reminder of your dedicated team here. I know we have Vincent Sanfilippo on the call too. Some have said the best looking lender team they've seen. I don't know, they look pretty good to me, but they love working with y'all. Real quick, Zillow's latest forecast for interest rates predicts basically a little bit of soft growth for home values over the year and mortgage rates to slightly decrease in the near term, but remaining relatively flat for the rest of the year. Those are the latest rate forecasts. I wanted to highlight the one element of our transfer experience and our technology that we've updated in the last few months that not everybody may know about is your Zillow Home Loans agent dashboard. So once your client is pre-approved with Zillow Home Loans, you'll receive a link to your email and also in your FUB notes or your Premier Agent app notes with a link to your dashboard. And there you can actually download your client's pre-approval letter at any point in time. You can't edit the amount quite yet, but we are working on that functionality where you'll be able to pick a specific amount and be able to print that letter, but you'll be at least able to print the pre-approval letter right on the dashboard at any time. And you'll also be able to see here at what stage in the process your client is at, whether they're in underwriting, whether they've been, final approved, clear to close, or pre-approved, wherever that milestone is. It'll show you on your dashboard for all of your clients that are working with Zillow Home Loans. So this is a good one here. You can also see it in the notes on your FUB and Premier Agent app as this picture is showing. Real quick, want to celebrate a couple wins with LRG and ZHL. Congratulations to Christopher, who just recently funded a loan with Drew Murphin this week. Great job, Christopher and Drew, helping out Kathy. Had one with Victor and Mo. Congratulations, guys. Another successful win with LRG and CHL. Vicky and Aaron Howell funded one this week for Kelly Taylor. And then also Alma and Cenas and James Gordon funded one together. So 4 fundings this week with LRG and ZHL. Congratulations, guys, and fantastic work.
All right. Well, good. Yeah. Hey, Wes, I appreciate it. Hey, real quickly, does anybody have any questions for ZHL while we have them? We'll take the next 1 to 2 minutes to ask them anything that they have. Anything goes. Transfers, my buyer wasn't approved, programs, value propositions. Anything come to mind? No, look at that. Look at that. So, hey guys, engage transfer rates up. Lean into this partnership. Zillow Group, without hesitation, I say it loudly and proudly, is our greatest, strongest partner that we have. Phenomenal relationship spanning over 15 years. And so, just lean into this. Every aspect I've seen Zillow grow, they win. And so, if there are problems or barriers that you run into while you're on the journey of transferring our shared customers over to ZHL, please let us know. All of your mentors have direct access into ZHL through a private Slack channel that we have set up so we can escalate things very, very quickly if needed. Also, Ray Gallardo is local, so that if there's some sort of issue, we can just go chase him down and grab him and find him. And so, Zillow Group is committed to this partnership, and the more we lean into it, the more our phones will ring. And so it just makes sense. So if you have any questions on it, please let us know. 100% transparency with all of it. Wes, I appreciate you and your team joining us today, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for the things you had to say.
Thanks, guys.
All right. All right, guys. All right, here we go. What I want to do is I want to take you guys back to 2012, man. So I got in this game in 2010. It took me a little bit to figure out, but in 2012, I sold a shit ton of houses. And the market right now, I was out there by myself, and the market right now and what I am experiencing, what I am seeing out there in many conversations with you, and many conversations just with everybody else in the industry, in seeing our lead flow and just everything else that's going on, the market is very, very similar to what I experienced in 2012. 2008, 2009, the market crashed. The market started climbing back up the hill. And if you start looking at what is happening now, what happened at the end of 2021, rates went up like a fucking rocket. Rates went absolutely bananas in 2021. The latter part of 2021, everybody freaking got scared, stopped buying, hit the brakes. 2022, 2023, 22, we had some leftover success from 2021. 23 fell off sharply. 24 continued about the same. We still had people that had a lot of success in 23 and 24. That will happen in every market. But what I am seeing as far as a similarity is 2012 is very much like 2025, in my opinion. And what does that mean? It means that, the high probability that a lot of people that you connect with are going to close. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about exactly what I would say as a buyer representative. And then also, if we don't run out of time, which I don't think we will, we'll talk about how to win every listing appointment every single time as well. And so before we get kicked off, I'm going to call on one of you randomly here. And we are going to pick Patrick Freeman. All right, Patrick Freeman. You caught me as you were scratching your head, and so you jumped out. So Patrick, here's the scenario. We're going to do this in front of everybody. Okay, no right or wrong answers. Go ahead and unmute, and let's get ready. Here's the scenario. I came through as a connection on Zillow. I'm a buyer. We're at 123 A Street. You're at the home, and you're going to script me through this whole thing. We just go. I just pulled up to the house. You met me. It's scripted out. I'll script it with you. I'm not trying to pull the carpet out from under you, or this isn't a gotcha moment. But we're just gonna go. We're gonna go live right here. Patrick, you're up.
All right, very nice to meet you. My name is Patrick Freeman with Levi Rogers Group. Glad to get face to face with you. Before we get started, I just want to talk about some rule changes that happened August 7th of last year. And that's this piece of paper I have in front of me right now. And right here, basically, what it comes down to is explaining what buyer representation is, and that that everything is negotiable in real estate when dealing with me and my brokerage. And so do you have any questions about that? And then I'd probably get it signed at that point.
Okay. All right. Hey, thank you. I signed it. Let's we're good.
All right. So as we walk into the house, how long have you guys been looking? What's your timeline?
Yeah, I've been looking for about 6 months. We have we're not in a rush, but it's something that I want to do. I heard that buying real estate in Texas is a good thing, and it's just something that I want to do. So we clicked on Zillow and thought we'd check a house out.
Definitely. Well, you're in good hands with me. Right now is a great time to be looking at houses here in Texas, especially San Antonio. I think that you're very likely to get a very good deal right now.
Why is
Um,
that?
well, right now it's a buyer's market. And so a lot of the times right now is what I'm seeing is that the home prices are starting to slowly come down. But what's great about it is that the list price is just what they're asking, and a lot of times you can get something that makes sense for your monthly payment as well, and we can negotiate that down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard interest rates are a big problem out there. Is that something that's still in play right now, or are they high, are they low? What is it?
So it's all relative. So last year we saw it spike up to about 8%. Right now we're a little bit below 7%. And it's trending to kind of be stable and slowly fall a little bit throughout the year. Um, but like I say, I mean, date the rate, marry the house, right? So if there's something you really like, then what we can do is we can figure out what terms work for you off the top, and then later on we can talk about refinancing in a year or so.
Okay. All right. All right. Talk to a little bit about how you're showing me the house. Like if all right, so are we still standing in the doorway at this point, or are we?
No, at this point, okay, we've moved through the front door. We're looking around the house. We're looking at some of the details, and basically, then I could say, have you guys have you guys worked with the brokerage before? Talk about kind of what we have. I always like to sell the team a lot. So I'll say things
Okay.
like, one of the great things about our brokerage is that we lean heavy on team. And what that means is if there's any questions along the way that I don't have the answer to, I can get you that answer. Um, and just talk,
Okay.
get to know them a little bit. I try to get to know, I'm not very good at this role playing thing, but
No, that's okay. That's okay. We're good. We're good. We're not, and most people aren't, man. Like
yeah,
that's why we're having a conversation about this today together. Like because this is a challenge for a lot of people, and it's not a problem. Okay, keep going. So how do you showed me the house, and like and everything went pretty okay. You went through. You showed me everything on the MLS sheet and all that. Talk a little bit about how you end. How does it end? Just walk me
yeah.
through that.
Well, it's kind of basically what I try to figure out during that conversation is, are they first time home buyers? And if they're first home buyers, great. What I like to do is say, has anybody taken the opportunity to discuss what the home buying process is all about? And so a lot of times, like I'll get to the kitchen island and I have some paperwork with me. I'll show them the whole process, talk them through the process. And if and usually that conversation goes to next steps. So we talk about Zillow home loans. I'll talk about lender. We need to understand purchase power, and understand how that gives us a head start. If they find the house that they really like, we'll have a leg up on the competition. So that's very important to do that. Um, and kind of the benefits of lenders and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I actually had with some people I'm under contract with right now, that's exactly what happened. We got into the kitchen, they're first time home buyers, and I opened up the packet that I made them, and we went through the entire process, and they were amazed, and it was awesome because actually, when I wrote up the contract for them for this house, they didn't ask a lot of questions at all. And I messaged Charles and I said, "Hey Charles, what does it mean if they don't ask a lot of questions?" And he's like, "That means that you earn their trust." And
Yeah.
so that was like kind of like a celebrating moment to look back on, like kind of
Okay.
yeah.
All
So
right. Well, hey guys, no, I appreciate you sharing that with us, Patrick, and going through there. Sorry, I basically just called you out on there. And but guys, just give Patrick however you give a round of applause on Zoom. And so thank you that. So
thank you.
hey, team, here's the deal. All of these people close. Okay, holy crap! Josh figured out how to give a round of applause on Zoom. Like, there's a little hint. Like, okay, all right, so you can do that. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Every single one of these people close. All right. And I know that some of you guys are thinking this is absolute bullshit. I've heard Levi say this over and over again, but it's so fucking true. Right. And so every single one of these people absolutely close. And so why aren't they closing with you? Now, you're not going to win every single one of them. Nobody absolutely here is. There are people on this call that win 5 out of 10, that win 6 out of 10, that win 3 out of 10. What are they doing to do that? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit about what I did back in the day to help increase that probability, because I got a lot less leads than people here in the organization get. But somehow it just seemed to work for me. It didn't come easy. It took me about 2 years to get it all figured out. I had a lot of coaching, a lot of teaching to help me get there. And so that's what I hope that all of you walk out with today. So I would meet the Johnson family. I meet them at the house. What are some things that you think I would do ahead of that meeting? Mentors, what are some things that I would do ahead of that meeting before I go meet the Johnson family? Real briefly, what did I do?
You
Hey,
got to
good morning,
research the
Levi.
neighborhood, right?
Charles, you're up. Go. What?
Yeah, research the neighborhood and
Research the neighborhood
person. And research the person.
people. Yeah.
Definitely research the person. If you can find them on Facebook or Instagram, great. Now you know their likes, dislikes, and a little bit about their life. Sounds creepy, but it's definitely ammunition for you going ahead of that meeting with a stranger.
Yeah, you're going on a first date, right? You have to absolutely prepare like a fucking pro. Okay, you have to prepare like a pro. All right, and then some of you may be thinking about, hey, I just got this jump ball and the appointment's in 30 minutes. So what? It's 2025. Jump on the internet. It's a big, beautiful thing. There's a lot of information out there. And then here's the other thing. Oh, Levi, I just got this information and I have an appointment in 15 minutes. So what? Google your job for 15 minutes a day. Research the area that you operate in and just become an absolute obsessed with it, right? I put in the Slack earlier about how many homes that people want to sell. I haven't had a chance to look at that yet, but the thing is that there's some of you that want to get the belt. There's some of you that want to sell 40 homes. There's some of you want to sell 5 homes. All of that's okay, but what are you doing today to prepare for that, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. So I'd meet the Johnson family. I already know everything it is that I could find out about the Johnson family ahead of the meeting, right? And I make sure that I'm not saying anything on the phone or texting anything to prevent that meeting from happening. That is so important, guys. Don't be your worst enemy. Don't get in your own way, right? So ahead of that appointment, if that appointment is a week out, you absolutely need to be committed to keeping it sticky with them, because they are going to be talking about that appointment that you are having in the future with them. So keeping it sticky on the front side, that's also part of preparing like a pro. And that is the absolute first one that we're going to talk about. So when I get over there and I freaking prepared like a pro, I know everything about the neighborhood. I know everything about the subject property. I'm able to say things in a manner to where I'm demonstrating my knowledge, skills, and ability about that property. When I get face to face with this complete stranger, now what? Now I have to nail the first impression. That is step number 2. And what I would do is I would always introduce myself, much like Patrick just did. Patrick said, hey, how you doing? I'm Patrick. Now, Patrick, were you showing up at the same time as the Johnson family in that one?
No, usually I like to drive around the neighborhood and put my eyes on any amenities that I can find and things like that.
Okay, yeah, but you were already there. The doors were open, right? Like every single one of these has to be treated like you are at an interview. Every single showing, first, second showing, third showing, every time it is an absolute job interview. If you think for 1 second that these people aren't clicking on shit and talking to people about their most important purchase of their life, they are. Absolutely. So you have to nail that first impression. So one of the things that I would do, I'd be like, hey, how you doing? My name is Levi. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. I am so excited about showing you this home on 123 A Street. And I'm not looking at papers. I'm not looking at the MLS sheet. I'm looking at them. I'm absolutely engaged. I'm shaking their hand and I'm taking control. So here's what I would like to do. I'd love to show you this property. It will take probably about 5 or 10 minutes. I found a few things on the property I want to make sure I point out to you before we're done. And then afterwards, would it be okay if we spend 5 to 7 minutes to go ahead and discuss a little bit about what a win looks like for you? Fair? They always say yes. They Always say yes. Step number 3, we are discovering their motivation. Now, while you were out there freaking showing them the property, you're talking about the HVAC, you're talking about the bedrooms, the bathrooms, you're learning about that family, what little Johnny Johnson wants, what Mrs. Johnson wants, what Mr. Johnson wants. You're learning all of that. You're absorbing it. But what you're doing is you're discovering the motivation. You're trying to elicit that from them while you're at that showing, so that when you get back at that table, kind of like what Patrick was talking about, and it's something I absolutely did every single time, right? And I feel it's important too, guys. Like, I'm going completely ad lib here, completely a cappella, right? Because I want to demonstrate to you that, like, hey, this is authentic and it's real, but you need to practice, you need to rehearse however it looks like for you. And I'm going to give you these 5 steps. I'm going to give you a damn slide that you could take away from, build it on your own, and I'll show you a little bit about how I did it. But you got to discover their motivation. Are they in a hurry? Are they buying right now? Did grandma just die? Are they looking for a house where little Johnny Johnson can ride his bike or in the yard safely, or whatever their motivation is? And then throughout this entire time, you are delivering a compelling presentation. And one of the things that I would always present to the people is their pathway to a win, however that is absolutely defined by them, was through me. But we're not going to get there overnight. We're not going to get there on the first handshake. We're not going to get there on the first showing. It's going to take time. It's going to take consistency. So how do I do that? Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, one of the things that I've found to be absolutely successful in helping people win is, one, just asking you that very simple question. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, what does a win look like for you? And then you wait, and then you just shut up and you listen to them. Well, what do you mean? Well, like, what does a win look like for you? What's the perfect home for you guys? What are the things that you're looking for? Sometimes there's a pause. Sometimes they spit it right off. You do not need to be the agent. Who here has gone to the restaurant and they've ordered a steak and they've ordered you're at a table of 10 and that waiter's standing there and they're not taking notes? Write in chat if you've ever seen that, and just write yes or no. And if you've had that anxiety when that waiter is taking that order, right? And they're taking that order and you're like, damn, do they really fucking, they really have all this? Is my steak going to come back medium rare when I want it medium well? Like, how do I know, right? Some of this is putting your Hollywood hat on and making sure that they know that you're paying attention. So you've got your clipboard, you got your notes, and you're presented well, right? And you're rocking it and you're writing this down. Even if you are remembering, or even if you plan to not even do anything with it, which I hope is not the case, you're showing them that you care and that you're listening, right? So you hear from them. Hey, what does a win look like for them? Well, I mean, little Johnny Johnson says, I want a place that I could ride my bike and play basketball. And Mr. Johnson's like, hey, I want a big garage, and Mrs. Johnson's like, hey, I really love entertaining, right? And then what I would always do, and I'd say, hey, you know what? Would it be helpful if I shared with you guys what a win looks like for me when I purchase real estate? And I did this on every single appointment, whether I'm buying or selling, right? And I'll share with you how it looks like on the sell side here in a second. But we're at the home, we're meeting a complete stranger, and I would share with them what a win looks like for me. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, one of the things that I always am considering when I'm making a real estate purchase is how strong of a purchase that I am making ahead of making that purchase. Because people sell when they need to, not when they want to. The biggest value that I could provide for you is helping you and your family make a smart real estate decision. Now, for our Austin and Killeen folks, I'm going to talk specifically about San Antonio, but everywhere there's some little isms, okay? Some of this applies to Austin and Killeen, some doesn't. But we'll go ahead and share what I used to say, because I grew up in the San Antonio market. I didn't operate in Austin and Killeen. So I would tell them, I say, hey, here's the top 5 factors that I would look for in a real estate decision before I make any real estate decision. Whether you work with me or not, you could take these top 5 factors with you and they will help you. Fair? Do you have a few minutes? They always say yes. Now we're at the kitchen table, kind of like Patrick decided, right? I'm not looking at notes. I've got my laptop open. I'm looking at them in the eyes. And then for this example, we've got Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Johnson, and little Johnny Johnson, right? They all have different perspectives. They're all thinking about different things that they want out of this home purchase. And if you think that kids don't have a say in the home purchase, you're absolutely fucking wrong. kids have a lot more influence in the home purchase than anybody would ever think, right? And so I would tell them, I would say, hey, these are the 5 factors that I am looking at before I make any real estate decision. Now, I'm always coming from a math perspective, and I will share. Don't forget little Johnny Johnson. Okay, yeah, all right, okay, all right, cool, all right. So, and I would go into it. I would say schools, traffic patterns, energy efficiency, soil conditions, and real rentability. These are Levi's top 5. These are the top 5 things that you cannot change about a home, that you cannot buy at Home Depot, that you cannot buy at Lowe's, that you can't push a button and get at Amazon. These are the top 5 things that I consider when making a home purchase. Would you like me to share with you why? They always say yes. Now, you may be wondering, like, well, fuck, how do you remember all this? I fucking practice. I practice like an absolute fucking animal. I rehearsed it, rehearsed it, rehearsed it. I haven't showed a house in probably, I don't know, 8 years, 9 years, and I'm still spitting this off right now. No slides, no screenshots, no fucking notes, right? You have to, schools, traffic patterns, energy efficiency, soil conditions, and rentability. Y'all, if you're on, go ahead and let's make a slide on that and get that to everybody. Patrick, schools, traffic patterns, energy efficiency, soil conditions, rentability. In San Antonio, Texas, I firmly believe those are the top 5 factors that help accentuate a smart real estate decision. I will go ahead and explain why. So, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, I know that you have little Johnny Johnson. You've already expressed to me that schools are freaking important to you guys. How even if you didn't have little Johnny Johnson here, schools are very much important for families when making real estate decisions. I highly consider that you take that into consideration when you make this this choice. The schools that the home feeds into absolutely matters. Traffic patterns. I know you've only been here 2 days, but one thing that I know that you felt already is the traffic in San Antonio. That's the same in Austin and probably Colleen, right? And so people want to go where they go the most, right? Necessarily like a high traffic area isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing. If you live 5 miles up the Culebra corridor, right? There's a whole lot of people here. There's a reason why there's a lot of traffic. People want to be there, right? So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a consideration. Okay, energy efficiency. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, it's hot as hell here. There's 300 days of sunshine in San Antonio. Energy efficiency matters. One of the things that I'm going to help you is identify the energy efficiency aspects of this home. I'll give you an example. Let's say that we're going out and looking at a home in Bronx Station. I know you mentioned that you love Bronx Station, and we find a house where the previous seller had paid for solar panels for the home already. Well, that is a huge opportunity that's going to lower your overall cost of home ownership. And for me in San Antonio, Texas, energy efficiency definitely makes my top 5. Soil conditions. Has anybody ever talked to you about soil conditions and the effect they have on real estate in San Antonio? Most of the time they say no. So then I say, okay, Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Johnson, imagine yourself in the 7th grade classroom. You're in 7th grade classroom. The teacher walks in. She has sponges to half of the class. Then she hands limestone rocks to the other half of the class. And then all the other class gets toothpicks. And the teacher says, hey, everybody, what I want you to do is build a house out of toothpicks on top of the limestone rock and a house out of the toothpicks on top of the sponge. And everybody take one of these water bottles right here, and we're going to pour it on there every single day. What's going to happen to the house with this sponge? It's going to expand. It's going to contract. And one of the most important factors in San Antonio real estate is making sure that the soil conditions that the house sits on is something that we understand pre-acquisition. I am not going to let you buy a house that is going to crack in half unless you absolutely decide that you want to buy a house that is going to crack in half. That is one of my obligations and commitments to you. Fair? And then people really fucking love this, right? When I talk about soil conditions, because part of being better, being different, being faster and more consistent is saying shit that the other people won't say. If we know that 9 out of 10 of these people close, and we know that every single person that closes in 2025 gets connected with 12 real estate professionals along their journey, gets sold as an online lead, we have to do things, say things, ask things to differentiate ourselves. Why? So they remember us. 2, so that they fucking trust us and we win. Every single interaction with our customers and these opportunities is an interview. And that doesn't stop at contract. I was on a phone call last night. I won't mention the agent or the mentor, but the deal was lost post-contract. How does that happen? It doesn't make the agent bad, is but the agent wasn't interviewing for his or her job post-contract. They got the contract and they were fucking done. Now, this agent did a great job throughout it and no stones at him or her. But from the customer, their truth is what they take with them, whether they're right or wrong. Whether they're right or wrong. And so we're constantly interviewing for the job. Okay, I got a little off track there. Okay, now the last one, rentability. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, rentability is so important because I talked to you about the most important thing that you can do about this acquisition, about this purchase, is prepare for the backside. I am hyper committed at helping you make a smart real estate decision, one that if you need to sell, that I can help you get out of it, and so that we aren't thinking about it when it's too late. Death, disease, divorce, job change, life change. That happens. It's very real. People call me when they need to sell, not when they want to. One of my commitments to you, if you choose to work with me, or whether you work with me or not, is to help make sure that you understand the power of understanding what the rental market looks like for the particular home that you are buying today. Would you like me to share with you that process and how I do that as well? Because every home that you're interested in and every home that you are offered in, I'm not just going to do a comparative market analysis on the sale, I'm going to do a rental market analysis on the rental as well. Is that something that you would like and appreciate? They absolutely always say yes. And I'm sitting there in the kitchen, in the dining room, at the last showing of the day or the first showing or however the situation is. I do not let them leave without them hearing my why, my 5 that I have chosen that most importantly affect a real estate sale, whether they work with me or not. And then I change my tone. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, is it fair to say that you, Johnny Johnson, Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Johnson, all have a different top 5? Oh, wait. I say, yeah. Little Johnny, I know that you wanted a place that you could ride a bike. Mr. Johnson, you had mentioned to me earlier that you wanted to have an amazing garage. You're garage people and you like to chill in your garage. Totally understandable. Mrs. Johnson, you love to entertain. Is that fair? Yes. Can I give you guys some homework? And then they always they all like Yael. I don't know if Yael's on, but Yael, how I met Yael was one of my buyer customers in like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there, right? I would give them homework, and I would say, what I'd like you guys to do is come together and create the Johnson family's why. And would it be okay if we had an appointment, let's say tomorrow, and went over this? Are you okay with a phone call? Are you okay with a face-to-face meeting or just simply a text, right? Now that gives me a reason to set that next appointment. Now, you're like, okay, Levi, this sounds fucking great, but how does this help you freaking not ever have to ask for the offer? Okay, well, I'm glad you guys are thinking about that. Because now, when I would get the Johnson family's why, that's their fucking mission. That's their mission. That's what a win looks like for them. The biggest barrier that all of you have that right now that aren't doing this or coming up with a pathway to get their why is doing it, is rehearsing it. It doesn't have to be delivered as I delivered it. It doesn't even have to say any of the same shit that I just said. I'm sure that Zeke, Rick, Charles, Candace, Karishma, and Brooks all have a different way of delivering that. And that's totally okay. And all of you have a different way of doing that. But you have to get them to realize the importance of identifying their why, what they are trying to achieve out of this, what are their top 5 permanent factors to that real estate decision. And once you have them, once you have that for them, let's say in this case, the things that the Johnson family can't buy at Home Depot, Amazon, or Lowe's are as follows. Mr. Johnson wants to live in a cul-de-sac. Little Johnny Johnson wants a flat driveway to play basketball. And Mrs. Johnson wants to have a huge open living room that feeds into her kitchen. And then Mr. Johnson's like, it needs to be under $300,000 in the school district. Well, now you got their top 5. Now what do you do, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson? Is it fair to say that getting 5 out of 5 is something that is going to be probably unrealistic to happen? They always say yes. They always say yes. And you're watching your tone, you're watching everything. You're not getting like this aggressive, my blood pressure is up right now. As you can see, I'm like turning red and shit right here. But you're not delivering it like that, right? It's probably because I don't know why the air conditioner's not working in my fucking office. But anyways, but nonetheless, the thing is that you'd be like, is it fair to say that 4 out of the 5 is something that you'd pull the trigger on? They always say yes. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, if I could find you 4 out of the 5, would you be committed to working with me, and would you be committing to submitting an offer on a property that meets 4 out of 5 of your conditions that you have? They always say yes. I've never had anybody tell me no. Never. Not one of them. And I would ask everybody. So then, Zeke, what do you do with that 5? Quickly. All
Go
right.
find him. No, I find it. You go find it and
You-
present it back to him.
Yeah, exactly. Why wait? Why wait for them to find their 5? Your next morning, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, one of the things that differentiates me from anybody else that you meet, one, I know you've already told me that you'll buy the house if I find it for you. Fair? Absolutely. You've told me that you'll work with me if I find that house for you. Fair? Yes, 100%. You've already set the conditions for that to happen. Now, the only thing that's separating you from working with the Johnson family is you finding the chunk of America that meets 4 out of 5 of their needs. And you'd be like, well, hey, Levi, they didn't send me the Zillow link, so I set up a search. That's fucking 2008 bullshit, guys. You got to be hyper committed to freaking getting into MLS on a daily basis, prospecting for the Johnson families that are in your inbox. You have people in your inbox that have agreed to meet with you and met with you. Whether you want to hear this or not, they will buy a chunk of America. It may be with the new home sales counselor. It may be a year later. It may be with the agent down the street. But don't let chances control your future. Control the controllables, right? I spoke with an agent yesterday, and I told her, I was like, I did 2 agent coaching sessions, and I told both of them actually to open up their calendar. And I looked at their calendar, and I didn't see any time for prospecting in there. And sometimes I think we think prospecting is something that we're doing to cold call people. Fuck no. It's to follow up and help people find what it is that they want. What's their mission? What is their mission, and what are you doing to find it? And I gave those 2 agents a piece of advice. I said, hey, check it out. What I want you to do is the last person that you met with, I want you to go ahead and figure out what their why is, their top 5, whether they give it to you or whether you make it. And I want you to drive to 2 or 3 houses that meet that top 5. And you go send them a video, because it was brought up to me, they're not responding. They're not responding. Well, because we're sending the wrong messages. Right? But if you send them a house that meets their fucking needs, unsolicited, remember Jason Brooks, who we used to freaking coach an organization on 2 acronyms: common ground, report, trust, and positive, proactive communication. If in an unsolicited manner, you met the Johnson family and a week has gone by, and then all of a sudden you go out and you send them a text that says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, it's Patrick. It was absolutely wonderful to meet you a week ago. I was out looking at homes, and I was thinking about your top 5, and I found a home in Stone Oak that's actually $40,000 less than the $300,000 that meets 4 out of 5 of your needs. Oh, by the way, I took a video of it. Here's the video. I pointed out in there in the video that there is a rusty HVAC pan, but because I used the technology available at our brokerage, I actually dug into the mortgage history of this person that lives at this house. They bought this house 8 years ago. They put 40% down on a conventional loan, and they only owe $100,000. If I can get this home for $10,000 less and get them to replace the HVAC for you, would you buy it? Would you be considered by it? That's the kind of tactical messaging you need to send to people. If you're sending them messages like, hey, would you like to go look at homes on Saturday? You're going to fucking lose. You're going to lose, because somebody as half as good as me is going to send a message, right? And I'm not trying to sound like a prick, but the thing is that is somebody that is just more intentional about it and understands that Johnson's needs. They're going to go find their needs. They're going to deliver it to them, and they're going to give them the optionality to meet those needs. And then so you got to dig deeper. 9 out of 10 of these people close inside of a year. They all close. They don't all close with us. If you close 3 to 4 of them, your life changes. If you close 3 to 4 people a month, your life changes. You saw Kelsey Cantu walk across the stage with 45 closings last year. Most of them were buy side. I think all but like 3 or 4 of them were buy side. If I got the numbers wrong, tell me later. Okay. But like most of them were buy side. Why? Was because Kelsey Cantu was intentional and freaking went out there and fucking put it to work, right? And so she identified what it is that the people wanted, and she was hyper focused and committed to getting them that. That's it. That's how simple this game is. The problem is it's a lot of work too, right? You have to be focused on it. You have to show up every day. You have to put in the work. Now, everybody's goal may not be to go sell 500 homes in a year, and that's okay. That's totally fine. That's totally respectable. We manage out the percentages. Like, we're good there, right? Like, and so that's not a problem. But if you are one of the people who want your name on the belt, you got to put in that work. And so I will go ahead and I'm going to summarize this real quick, and then we're going to go into some discussion there. I see a bunch of hands up. I want to get to Rick and Zake and Patricia, right? And if my delivery of this hits you in different ways, I'm not trying to be an asshole or nothing. I'm so passionate about it because I want every single person in this organization to make as much money as humanly possible, right? That's what I want. No matter where you come from, no matter how much experience you have or don't have. When I was less than 2 years in this industry, I sold over 120 freaking homes by myself with no assistance, with far less lead opportunities than individuals are taking in this organization. Why? Because I got face-to-face, I had a system and a process for it, and I executed on it, right? Now, was it sustainable for the long term? Absolutely not. Like, I got burned out, right? And I had to start a real estate team. And so now I get burned out in a whole different way. But you know, it is what it is, right? And so again, Levi's top 5, Levi's why, my top 5 factors to making a smart real estate decision in San Antonio, Texas. And I want my Austin people and Killeen people, I want you guys to tell me the top 5 in Austin and Killeen. And I'm going to start coaching to that as well, because I don't think we have the soil condition problems in Austin and Killeen that we have in San Antonio. But I want you guys to let me know. And if you're one of the mentors, it is the same. Okay, great. So it works. Out to Texas, schools, traffic patterns, energy efficiency, soil conditions, and rentability. Levi's top 5. I said that on every single buyer appointment, every single time, and it helped me aggregate what my customers or potential future customers' top 5 was. When I got that top 5, I knew what their mission was. And my job and my mission was to help them find that right there in front of their face. I would set them up on an MLS search that aggregated only homes that met that top 5. I would also show them that I set myself up on that same search so they saw with their own eyes, much like we talk about giving the order to the waiter and not knowing if they have what we gave them. I made sure they saw with their own eyes, not only how I can set up the searches, but that they set them up for myself as well. So they know that systematically and in processes that I have, that I cared about what it is that they want. In the subject line of every email that I sent to every person for MLS searches was one, I don't know, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Bronze Station, or whatever the subject was, text. If you want to see any properties or have any questions, text Levi for showings at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even if they didn't open the email, they saw in their mind to see a home or solve any real estate problems, text Levi at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That popped up in every customer I met's email every single day, right? And so now that you have the Johnson families, why? The only thing keeping you from freaking winning with the Johnson family is helping them win with whatever it is that they want. All right, we talked about that. I want to go to some discussion here, and I'm going to give you guys a sheet, okay? That's my 5-step framework that talks about the 5 general steps, okay, to close every appointment, and that's prepare like a pro, nail the first impression, discover their true motivation, deliver a compelling presentation, and confidently handle objections and close that ass, okay? You got to be able to close that ass. Last week, we talked about closing skills, right? And so that's important too. Patricia, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor first, then we'll get to Zake and Rick, and then we'll have some discussion on this, and then we'll get to the listing side of this. And I'm only 40 minutes into this, so let's roll. Patricia, what you got?
I need some guidance. I'm a newbie. I'm a new kid in the block. Real estate is new, the whole gamut. I have my first client. They signed the form on Sunday. And so now I'm in the process of negotiating for on that home that they're wanting. So I need help with that because I looked and I found the comps, and based upon what the listing agent is saying, he's like, well, most of the homes here in this neighborhood have sold for this amount. And when I went to research those homes were better prepared. And when I say prepared, they had been upgraded in the inside. It was a lot more done to the home. So my question is, because based it upon that and what they're looking at, that particular home that they're really wanting has some things that need to be addressed. And one of them is the roof because it has the terracotta tile
Mm-hmm.
and it has not been replaced and it has not been recoated. And
Yeah.
so I needed some help.
No, that's okay. That right there, I would tell you, I really appreciate you bringing that up. One of the things I would tell you too, I mean, definitely get with your mentor and help go all that. But I want to use this as an example right now. What's the property address?
102 Campbell Lane.
102 what?
Pleasanton,
Campbell Lane?
Campbell Lane in Pleasanton, Texas.
Okay, all right. Congratulations for taking a drive to Pleasanton. A lot of opportunity in these areas. Okay, and so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share a screen to show you how I would do this. All right, is that fair? I'm going off script here a little bit, but let's do it. Can you see screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go look at this right here, days on market.
Mm-hmm.
This folks been on market for 140 days. All right, so that's going to yield us a couple of things. One, either that seller is not going to negotiate at all, right? Or they are. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to additional information here, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to look at the listing history. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me. Okay, so now I look, they started this property at 295, right? And over time, they just price changed. So what I'm looking there is to see if it went under contract at all, right? Okay, and it hasn't gone under contract, so that tells me a lot. That gives me some information. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the seller's disclosure. I'm going to see if there's anything in here that jumps out as a problem, right? And so this also tells me that the agent on the other side isn't that great because, I mean, they just handed the person some papers and told them to fill it out in pen or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so there's just a lot of stuff on here that probably shouldn't be here. But it's a lot of information for me as a negotiator to look at and consider in this. Okay. So I'm going to look at that. So I've looked at the history. All right. It hasn't been under contract. I look at the days of market, right? Keep in mind too, Patricia. Yeah, keep in mind too that the listing agent, Peter here, his whole job is to get these people as most money as possible, as fast as possible, at the best terms as possible. So half of what he's going to say is absolute good crap, to be honest with you, right? That's his whole job, right? Your whole job is to get those buyers you represent the best deal as possible, as fast as possible, at the lowest price possible, right? The other thing that I'm going to do here, and I'm not going to walk through on how to do it in Fellow right now, just because in the essence of time. But one of the things I do before Fellow existed is I would come in here and I would look at the mortgage history. So check this out. You do this in front of your clients, they're going to love it. They are going to love it. It's a way to positively differentiate yourself. I would show all my clients my process of how I did that. So now I'm looking at 2019. These guys got a loan for $140,000. So now if we figure $6,000 to $7,000 a year in drop in price, so they probably owe 100 let's say 100 to 110 on that property, man, I'm willing to bet that these people are going to be happy walking out with 100 or 100 and 125,000, and I'm going to try to position my offer as such, right? So there's plenty of room on here, in my opinion, to go through that, and I would ask away. I would not care what that listing agent said, to be quite honest with you. I would share that with the customers. Hey, look, I think this may be a little bit of tougher negotiation. They feel that the home is worth more than what it is. However, I see that they bought this home in 2019 or whatever for XYZ price. And I think that the market conditions allow us to get this. And I would present that offer. Also, in paragraph 7D2 of the offer, let's say that there's an identification of something they want fixed ahead of time. There's nothing to prevent you to ask the sellers to make a repair ahead of time. If you mentioned the HVAC, and you think that the HVAC needs to be replaced or it needs to be inspected, evaluated, repaired, right, by a licensed professional, put that in paragraph 7D2 on initial offer presentation, right? Don't wait for the option period on that. Guys, homes in Texas are bought as is. Homes in Texas are bought as is. The option period is negotiated. They are bought as is at the time of the first inspection. The time of the first inspection of the home is before you put the offer in to buy it, when you've walked through it. All right. And so if you identify something while you're out there showing, Patricia or any agent on here, don't be afraid of putting that in 7D2. Now, this doesn't appear like it's going to be a multiple offer type situation. It appears like it's something that you could walk into with complete leverage, right? Maybe, maybe not. Another thing that I would do too, like if the house is vacant, I don't know if this house is vacant or not, but let's just pretend for a second it was. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the court records. I'm going to look up Brenda and David Nelson here, and I'm going to go into court records, and I'm going to drop their name into the court record search. Can you go? Oh shit, you can't see it. Let me show you guys what I'm doing here. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go to all counties here. I can only accept 4, okay? But for intents and purposes, let's just say that this worked out perfectly here. I'm going to look them up and see if they've already went to contract on another property as well. That's going to help give me insight as a negotiator as to what position that seller's in. Also, I'm going to try to elicit from that listing agent what that seller is going to do, what they're doing, and et cetera, and how motivated they are. Patricia, I don't know if that's helpful, but what questions do you have? And
Well, one of the questions I have also was Saturday when I called them and I let them know I had a client that was possibly interested in it. And I was asking for the seller's disclosure. There was not a seller's disclosure. I asked him, could he email it? Well, I never got the email, but later on I seen he went back and put the seller's disclosure in there. And in that seller's disclosure, it mentions the fact that they have the material to do the recoding for the tile. However, in the narrative on the MLS, it says that it has been done. So I'm confused.
yeah, I would just clarify that with them and see
Okay.
what's going on. I mean, maybe that seller's disclosure was done prior to the MLS being done, or maybe it's in the 140 days that they had it on the market, they got a lot of feedback that said that that's the problem. And so maybe he updated the MLS. We're dealing with an agent that isn't that experienced on the other end, or somebody that has a systems tool and infrastructure to make stuff happen pretty fastly. I could just tell that by looking at his listing presentation of the listing there. I could look at the way that seller's disclosure is written, and some of the things that were on there that listing agent's not too involved in. I would use that as your absolute advantage, right? I would go in there with exactly what that buyer wants to make that deal whole. And if there's any questions, I would get those clarified ahead of contract, right? I would not go to contract without clarifying those questions in writing, and then go ahead and submit the offer that works for you guys. This looks like an opportunity of a home that you can go deep on and get a big win for somebody. And I'd recommend that I don't know what group you're in off the top of my head. Okay, yeah.
Charles.
Yeah, so I would get with Charles right after this, and I would just, get a strategy to go in there and knock out a win for these folks.
Okay. Also, there is in that disclosure, they mentioned termites and that they had it treated, but is there a way to find out for sure if that's been done?
Yeah, I would go ahead. Honestly, if they've had termites, I'd have them produce any paperwork that they've had, and then I would make sure that I got a termite inspection on the property ahead of it. And what I'd like to do though is if you can schedule some time with Charles right after this, I want to get continue. I got a whole nother section to get through on this, and then but we'll definitely get you helped out on this. And then but I appreciate you bringing that up. And we are in a market right now to where we can negotiate and win on behalf of buyers. Period. I can sit here and I can get Selena on, and Selena can tell you about all the stories that sellers that are in a pinch, right? If somebody is on the market right now, it's because they need to, not because they want to, period, because they have to figure out where they're going to go and how much that's going to cost them, right? And then right now the interest rate environment is not one of which to where people are like excited to go out there and double their monthly mortgage payment, right? These people have a very low mortgage payment. They're moving because they need to, not because they want to, regardless of what that listing agent says. I would submit that offer that they have and that works for the buyers, and just go deep. Selena, I'm going to yield 30 seconds to you on that. I see you got your hand up, and then I would go from.
I just want to let y'all know that we're excited to receive bad offers right now. I got one this morning, $15,000 off, 25,000 in closing cost concessions, probably $50,000 in upgrades. And we're like, how can we make this work? So that's what sellers are doing right now.
Yep, guys, like it's the time. When you guys, when I made that post the other day and I could feel the pulse of the market, buyers want to buy. Okay, find out what they want and get it for them. That's our job, right? We get face to face, find out their top 5, and be hyper focused on getting it for them. And if you don't know how to get it for them, raise your hand and get for it. All these people will close that are coming through our ecosystem right now. They will close inside of a year. They're going to close with the person that identifies the problems and help them solve them. Zake, then Rick. You guys had your hands up way earlier.
Yeah, just real quick, when you said prepare like a pro, Tom Brady and all of the other champions, Jordan, they didn't. How much practice did they do before they showed up on game time? Right? How much practice did they do before they showed up on game time? We cannot expect pro level pay in this industry, but we're out there acting like an amateur. To include what you mentioned, Levi, one of the things you taught me early on is about driving the neighborhood and understanding where the pool was. And every time some of you may go out there and be like, oh, the buyer didn't show, it's just always making you better, and it makes it easier to do your job. How many reps, how much practice do pros do before they show up on Sunday at 12 o'clock looking to win the game? Always remember that.
Absolutely. No, 100%. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Whether you need it scripted out or you need to write your story down on paper, come up with something, rehearse it like an absolute animal. I shared with you guys how I did it. It doesn't mean that's how you need to do it. Maybe you take a little piece of that and make it yours. That's totally fine. But you got to be able to deliver it. You got to be able to deliver it without looking at one of these. You got to be genuine. 9 out of 10 of these people close inside of a year. If you go into every appointment like it's a job interview, every showing like it's a job interview, pre and post contract, if you think for 1 second you can't lose a deal post contract, you're wrong. Every interaction with these customers, if it's treated like a job interview, you'll make a shit ton of fucking money in this business. Excuse me, I'm getting passionate, guys, because I want everybody to win. I'm sorry with the F-bombs and all that stuff. Rick, Damn, I forgot your last name. I just called
Don't
you
worry
Rick.
about
Rick.
that guy. No, I'm gonna go fast, but I just wanted to kind of link everything that has been said together. And I think that it starts with what is your system, right? So like, do you have your own system? And when we talk about practicing, what are we practicing? How are we practicing? And the script, we want to use it until you know the material. Till you know the material, then the script goes away. And then it becomes authentic, you talking to somebody else. So I think that goes a long ways towards it. So I would challenge people to figure out what your systems are. Get structured. So when I coach to it, I talk about getting structured. So what's your structure? What do you do every single time to prepare yourself for the person in front of you? Regardless, plug and play. The person's the variable. You are the constant. You're the person that you are in control of everything that you do or don't do. How do you show up to the appointment? How do you follow up from that second or first appointment? You're the constant. So what is your system? What is your structure to get you to win?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Rick. I agree with all of that. I just want to ask you one question. What did you say happens to the script once you know it?
So I said you have to use the script over and over again until you know it. Yeah.
No, Rick, you're 100% right there. Guys, like however that looks for you, go do it, right? I want to share something here real quick, okay? I'm going to share a screen and I want to give you guys some insight. No screenshots on this because this is an agent's active profile or something here, just out of respect for our agent here. All right. If you aren't integrated with Fellow, and if you think for 1 second that Fellow is just a listing tool, you're absolutely fucking wrong. You're absolutely wrong. All right. Selling a chunk of America for most people that need to buy America needs to happen. 2 things I want every single person to do. I want you to go through your bucket on FUB, however many people you have in your bucket. Go to Forewarn. If you don't have Forewarn, Austin folks, San Antonio, Austin and Colleen folks, if you don't have Forewarn, I will have the CCS team do this for you in your thing. Just go ahead and kick that off with a request in your appointment channel. That'll be done by the end of the week, early next week, okay? If you are in Forewarn, you go to Forewarn, you go to your follow-up boss. If you have people that don't have an address right here, You need to put it in there. You go to 4Row and you write the phone number and then you get their address. And you'd be like, well, Levi, I don't know if they live there. Who cares? They live there at least one point in their life, right? The whole idea is to get them engaging in the system, providing them value about a property and starting conversation. Now, look at this integration over here. This person, August Ramirez, this person's going to sell their freaking house, period. They have a scale, all right, over here with Fellow. If you're like 30 or above, they're selling in the next 180 days. If they're like 50 and above, that shit's happening fast in the next 90 days, right? Or it's already happened. I don't know. But then you could go in there and see the equity. You can see everything that's happening, right? And it just aggregates a whole nother voice for you. Sometimes the fastest way to the buy side is through the list side. So what I want you guys to do is every single appointment you get, even if it's your Uncle Larry, doesn't matter. Drop them in Forewarn, put their address in here. This starts the ecosystem. We do not send blanket communication out to people. Would you like your home value? We want to send targeted messages like your equity analysis on 18875 Shadow Canyon is this. Right. And so let's go ahead and do that. Let's make sure everybody on here does that. I got everybody's name on here. Okay. All right, cool. And so does anybody have any questions on how to do that? I've got 3 minutes left and I want to talk through listing appointment here real quick and how to win everyone. Does anybody have any questions on, how about this? If you have questions on how to work on Fellow or what have you, just get in your appointment channel. They'll help you out. Okay. Tag Jaylene and they'll help you get that figured out. But you don't even know how to work on Fellow. It will automatically do it for you if you simply just put the address in the FUB of the people that are in there. Right. And so, okay, good. All right. The other thing. So, are there any questions on my top 5? I got a graphic that I'm going to give you guys. I'm going to drop it in chat right after. Okay. And then we're going to drop a graphic of the top 5 factors that I feel are a great real estate decision in San Antonio, Texas, which has now become Texas thanks to Aaron, because Aaron told me that the same soil conditions problems are in Austin and Killeen. So thank you, Aaron. Right. And so now it's Levi's top 5 factors to a smart real estate decision in Texas. Right. And then I'm also going to give you guys the framework to win every single appointment. Okay. Prepare like a pro, nail the first impression, discover that motivation, deliver a compelling presentation, and confidently handle objections and close them. Much of what Rick, Selena, and Zake were talking about, Charles as well, is all wrapped up in there as well. Now, what I want you guys to do, if you're on a listing appointment in 2 minutes or less, check this out. Selena's going to get on me about this afterwards because she's like, well, you gave me a freaking hour and 58 minutes to buyers. And so you go out there. Here's the framework for a great listing. Okay. You go out there, you get face to face, you prepared like a pro, you studied like an animal, you've got the LPA, you get to that front door, you knock on a door. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, my name is Levi Rogers. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. One of the things that I've always done to ensure that my customers get the highest price possible, as fast as possible, with the best terms as possible, is I start these appointments off a little different than most people. I want to go to your kitchen table to set down my laptop in my bag. But before we talk about the numbers and the marketing presentation, I'd love to get a tour of your beautiful home. Now, I've done a little market research on the area, and I know that your home is the only 5-bedroom home with a game room that exists in Stonewall Ranch. I am excited to learn about the good and bad ugly of the home, whether you work with me or not. This is a confidential conversation. I want to be the person on earth that knows your home better than anybody with the exception of yourselves, because knowing that the one thing that you want is to get your home sold for as highest amount of money as possible, as fast as possible, with the best terms as possible. I need to know your home as best as humanly possible. Fair? Would it be okay if we walk around your home for the next 20, 30 minutes? They always say yes. And Selena, is it 30 minutes? Really? No, it's usually like what? Like, how long am I walking around with them? Forever?
A long time, like an hour plus.
By design.
Mhm.
I've studied the market competition. I'm referring to active homes on the market by their name, not their address. The Smiths down the street, they've been on the market 90 days. They don't have a game room. You do. Ooh, yeah. Hey, we're gonna take a picture from that side, this. Ooh, I'm crawling the attic. Oh, Mr. Johnson, man, that dog shower you did on the thing over on the outside in that little alcove, that is phenomenal. Wow. And I'm taking notes, slow, smooth, methodical. I'm being that waiter that's paying attention to the order. And then after an hour and a half of learning that home, probably better than the Johnson family even knows it, and displaying my market knowledge, like legit real time market knowledge without looking at notes because I rehearsed it, right? Because I studied it, because I prepared like a fucking pro. I sit down at the table, I grab my laptop, I open it up, and I say, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, I really appreciate the time looking at your home. Thank you for sharing me everything about your property. Would you like to go over my marketing presentation, or would you like to go ahead and look at the numbers? And why I'm asking that is very critical. If they say marketing presentation, I did not do enough work on that walkthrough. I did not win them over. But because I nailed this and I nailed this all the time, I did not lose listing appointments. I'm not saying guys, like it's just real, right? Myra, I don't know if you're on here, but Myra went around with me more listing appointments than any human being on earth, and she saw this shit. And I would sit there and I would say, would you like to look at the marketing presentation or would you like to look at the numbers? And when they said numbers, I knew that I had them. And have I talked about commissions or anything at this point? Nope. They want me to sell their home because they believe that I am the pathway for them getting the most money as possible, as fast as possible, with the best terms as possible. And when I put 7% on that sheet, when I put 6% on that sheet, when I put 8% on that sheet, they don't even hesitate. They sign. That is how you win every listing appointment right there. You don't even have to open up the fucking notebook. You just have to kill it on the walkthrough. All right, guys, I can go for another 10, 15 minutes. If you guys have questions, I'm totally fine. We talked about a lot. I owe you guys 2 graphics. Yael will get those out in buyer ops and listing ops right after this. But the 5-step framework to win every appointment starts with preparing like a pro, right? And it ends with closing. Okay. Everything else between, if you forget all that, just remember those 2. Prepare like a pro and close like an absolute animal, right? Every single one of our mentors, Selena, Myra, everybody between you and me in this organization grew up in this organization. They have years in this organization. They know these processes, they know these procedures, they know it. Don't be the agent that doesn't ask them the questions, right? Get face to face, like, hey, Bob, I need help with this. That's totally okay. Please ask the questions because 9 out of 10 of these people close us out of here. All right. We all make money the same way. When people and families make it to the closing table, not a dime is made in this organization without that. So we all want the same thing. We all have the same shared goal there. What are your questions? What are some points and things? I am going to have no voice by the end of this. I totally just did this completely ad lib. So if I missed something, I apologize. But Jason, you just came back on camera. What you have any questions or thoughts, or are you like racing to lunch?
No, I would just say, folks, we got to implement all this stuff that we talk about, right? And so hopefully you're taking notes and just implement everything. The only thing I would add is we have to get to a place where no doesn't work for you, right? And whether that's giving up commission or letting a deal die or not going under contract at the beginning, right? So you go in this appointment, you take a jump ball, you answer the call, whatever the situation is, you take time away from your family, you drive across town, you meet a stranger, you're doing the summary estate bearers pathway. Don't take no for an answer, right? So the whole job is to get Beth to the finish line and overcome their barriers and objections. And that's what we're building on, is just trying to give you these tools. Everything Levi provided today, it works, right? We just have to implement it. But I would just challenge everybody, don't take no for an answer. That's it,
Yeah.
Levi.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, like if you're not time blocking things and you're not putting it in your calendar, it's not getting done, right? Like find 2 hours a day to prospect. The deeper you go with these people, if we know that 9 out of 10 close, right? Just even if you don't believe me, okay, what I want you to do is just give me 3 months of it. Give me 3 months of time blocking, whether 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. or whatever time works for you. It just needs to be 2 hours a day. And what you're doing is you're not cold calling people. what you're doing is you're making sure that the 50, 60, 30, 100 people in your bucket that we've connected you with or you've connected with at open houses. We heard a great story the other day in Slack from a great win from Chris Pate about meeting a family at an open house and winning with them, a $900,000 buyer, like at an open house, right? Like it's the questions we ask, it's the systems and processes that we implement, right? And we all have to have our own flavor to it, right? Like how I go out and deliver this shit is going to be different than how Patricia delivers it, how Jason delivers it, how Patrick and Rebecca deliver it. And that is totally okay. But you got to rehearse it, you got to have your story, and you got to stick with it. Your whole job is to go out there and earn their trust. And remember that every single interaction with somebody that wants to buy a chunk of America or sell a chunk of America, it is a job interview. And that doesn't end at contract. I saw a deal yesterday that ended post contract because the buyer lost confidence in the agent. Now, our agent did a phenomenal job, right? And they freaking did everything that they were supposed to do and actually put the buyer's interest above their own. But the deal died, right? And so, like, the deal died. And so, just while you're out there, listen to the people. Nobody's absolutely perfect. You're not going to bat 100%. But man, if you got 4 out of 10 to close, your life changes. If you close 4 out of 10, your life changes. Like it does, period. And so I'm open to any questions. I got 7 minutes. Anybody have any questions? Anything goes. Everybody's like, no, I don't want to get him out of tangent again. All right. It looks like we're going to lunch 7 minutes early. All right. Well, no, I guess 7 minutes late because it's 12:07. So, all right. Well, cool. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. I appreciate the time. We'll put these 5-step framework in Slack and time block some time every day to prospect with the people you met and find out what their mission is and go get it for them. Don't be afraid of leading first and going out and finding that home and making that part of your messaging to them. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up afterwards. Your mentors, myself, we're all here ready, willing, and able to help you in any way. And I appreciate you all. Have an amazing day.